So, welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone is back and I hope everyone has eaten their lunch. Is everyone back? Welcome to the second section of the presentation. So, as I said earlier, the second section will begin starting from Angel Gabriela Kusuma from Indonesia. So, I would like to make sure that she is already present.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you can start sharing your screen whenever you're ready.
So, is it visible?
Yes, it's visible. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Greetings, everyone. I'm Angel Gabriela from Petra Christian University, Indonesia. Thank you for the opportunity to present my project, Titik Lebur. Titik Lebur has the closest meaning to unity or becoming one. The design brief was to make a symbolic youth center on Apsari Street, Surabaya. The site is located on the center of Surabaya in the business district. Surabaya itself is very known as the city of heroes with a lot of historical values. The design process started from issues and the past value around the site. First, there is Balai Pemuda that used to symbolize inequality, and second, there is Apsari Park and statue of Gubernur Suryo, which symbolizes fighting spirits of Surabaya. And third is Tunjungan Street, one of Surabaya's icon as the oldest trade center. Presently, small businesses like old street shops and street vendors around the site are beginning to be extinct due to the development of technology and modern shopping center. Looking at how fast technologies have developed, the future of these small businesses are questioned. Not only that, but values such as egalitarianism and solidarity begin to fade and are replaced with individualism that leads to social economy inequality. Therefore, Titi Lebur wants to empower youth to become a sociopreneur and connect them with society by reinterpreting lost values such as fighting spirits, unity, and equality into symbolic meaning of the building. So next is the form transformation. First, as a response to the site, the building is shaped into a triangle. Axis is made to catch passerby and create vista towards city, especially Tunjungan Plaza as one of Surabaya business icon. Second, the roof is curved and pointed to one point. This is to represent the progress towards goals. Third, sunken ground to give a humble impression and blends the building with the surrounding. Fourth, subtraction to create skylight and outer space. And lastly, communal space for the street vendors are created to give linkage between the site and Taman Apsari. This is the site plan. The path for cars and pedestrians are separated to create a comfortable working environment from the park. The other area is made for street vendors in hopes they can have their own space so they don't get affected and cause traffic on the road. This is the layout plan. First entrance is through the ramp. The layout is designed so visitors have to pass the street vendors first, then to the basement where public space is located. Second entrance is through the back door, mostly used by sociopreneurs so they can go straight to their working space. There are also lounge and outdoor area that are used for break time and create social space. And this is the basement. It provides public space such as an amphitheater, computer lab, and library that can be used for workshop, training, and study area. So moving on to the Vista, on the entrance, visitors are welcomed by Vista of Tunjungan Plaza as the building's background to symbolize today's inequality, whereas the building represents the future or equality. And before entering, the visitors go through the ramp to give the impression of a long journey before reaching a goal. Murals on the side walls serve as a reminder of unity. And then the visitors enter the amphitheater where sociopreneur and small businesses work. The ceiling is made lower so it can create a more intimate feel and emphasize the space. The skylight above the amphitheater attract people to look up, and then there they found the co-working space. This is the co-working space. With an undulating shape, the user can experience different scale in one space. The structure is made from glue lamp and is exposed to reflect locality and sociopreneur's characteristic that are honest and humble. Open space is created through the structure and the minimum of walls so that it can increase the social interaction. Low E coating glass is used to give a transparent look and welcome users into the building. Sliding glass allow natural ventilation, and the vegetation used to reduce the heat caused by the glass and blend the building with outside part. Timber shading is also used to emphasize the curvy shape. This is the section. From section A, you can see the glass block and the skylight. And section B, you can see the response to collect rain and avoid flood to lower the temperature on the basement. This is the elevation, and this is the library and the outer perspective. And let's enjoy the video. So thank you so much for the attention.
All right, thank you so much, Angel, for the presentation. And now we're moving to the Q&A session.
Angel, can you explain the roof structure, please? The roof.
Okay, so the structure is made from the glued laminated timber. So I used a structural grid for the roof so it can give a long span structure. And also I used the floor with the structural grid also to give a long span structure. So the space inside is more free, more open. With that, I want to create more social interaction between them.
Okay, thank you. So the same grid is on the floor. The same triangular grid is on the floor for the horizontal roof, horizontal floor.
Yeah, the structural grid is used for the roof and for the floor. So the basement is also an open plan without that much of columns.
Thank you for your presentation. I think architecturally well planned and the construction are very easy to understand, very simple. But like the other participants, you use the symmetry plan, very very strong and symbolic, exterior view. And we think that when you use the symmetry, there will be another effect of the axis or centrality or something. So do you have any very more stronger intention to use this symmetry in your site? Yeah, on your axis, is there anything on the axis, or is there a special meaning for your shape?
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so the site is actually a little bit like a triangle shape. So I responded to the shape of the site, and also like with making the building into the triangle, it can create a vista towards this Tunjungan Plaza. It is one of the Surabaya's business icon. You can see the diagram in the first diagram in there, and this is the perspective of the vista. So yeah, I want to create a vista towards that building.
Oh, so buildings are for you important factors in the
Uh,
central city. Oh. And how about the other side? Anything?
Also, on the other side, so this is the Taman Apsari or Apsari Park. In, this one is Apsari Park. There are usually a lot of youth who spend their times on the park. So actually, like I want the building to have this open impression from the park, so it can invite those youth to come
Oh,
to the building.
Um, I'm sorry for interrupting, Angel, but I think we see a black box in
Oh,
the middle of your presentation. If
I'm so
you,
sorry.
I think it's your Zoom that is blocking the. Yes,
oh,
I think it's better
better.
for the judges
Yeah.
as well. Yes.
So yeah, this is the Apsari Park here, and the building is actually looking towards the park, so that it can invite people
Yeah.
to.
So we can buy you a good idea of fitting your building into the site, site form. But be a bit be careful about using the symmetry. Symmetry means a very strong, you know, more effect to outside. Okay.
Thank you.
My question is related to the Professor Kobayashi. And so looking the assignment in your university, so is to make a symbolic youth center, okay? So symbolic is, how did you understand the symbolic youth center? And then how did you express in your plan? Is a symmetry?
Oh, the symbolic. So I want to like reinterpret the old values, the past values, such as this fighting spirits, and then there's also this social inequality. I want to like uh, empower the youth to be more humble and to bring back those lost values into the building by making a symbolic building. So the first symbolic meaning like is from the form. The form is made like an undulating form to create a meaning that in excuse me. So in this form transformation, I explained a little bit about the symbolic meaning. It's so the form is actually make a curved form and pointed to one point. This is actually I want to like represent how a sociopreneur go from zero and to hero, and also to like remind them how Surabaya used to fight the colonialism, that, and also like I want to give this humble impression or feeling from the building to remind them like to always be humble, and also to blend the society and the sociopreneurs. Does that answer the question?
Okay. Okay.
Is there any other question from the judges? All right, looks like it's all clear. So thank you, Angel, for presenting, and thank you to judges for commenting Angel's work. And now we're proceeding to the next presenter. We have Tran Long from Vietnam. All right, we can already see the screen. You can start presentation.
Hello everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, my screen that is normal. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Long Zhang from Ho Chi Minh University of Architecture. You can call me Long. That's mean dragon in Vietnamese. Now let me start my presentation. Welcome to Saigon. You can see the canals running in the heart of the city. When going through the desert alley in the urban city, looking up, you will see the roof crouch each other. Or at night, standing at the top side, and you see the lights of vehicles passing through the intersection. Saigon, 300 years ago, the flood built up the fertile land. The current brought ships from far away of Chinese to explore and develop the land. So the currents that create the typical traditions and culture of Saigon.
Could you zoom in a bit so we can see the full slide? There's parts cut off.
I'm sorry.
Seems some parts of your slides are cut off. I think just show, or you want to focus on some areas.
Area.
So go ahead.
Oh, okay. In Saigon today, in that current, we'll see a new trend. That's contemporary art. Young artists full of ambition, yearning of new artistic experience. They are diverse, challenging, breaking on norms. They create artistic trends of the time they live in. They strongly reflect the hard issues of contemporary society. They talk the ways of controversies, but they hide themselves in small collections that dot the city, absorbed in ideas that are inaccessible to the general public. So during my research of this topic, I had an opportunity to visit some small galleries in the city. This is one of the rare pictures I took in a hurry, but it also an overview of the current situation of young artists in the city. So I found that size, Yalong Palace of Old Saigon is also a city museum today, which is a place to display artifacts about development history of Saigon. But the values of the previous era were barren, isolated, and found no common language with the young public. Their campus were used as a city gallery, which did not meet the taste of young artists. So I have questions. Could old and new values coexist in the same era? My idea is to create a space in the city museum campus at a bridge between traditional and modern values. I realize inheritance is a sign of suitable development. The first bridge of contemporary art of new experimentation are always placed next to the values of the previous era. They do not negate each other, but follow each other like the current. The stronger the connection, the stronger the currents become. Now we get the roof. So, two-layer roof design has minimized outside noise impact on the building. Besides, the roof layers fall up and down, overlapping each other, making the building still ensure the amount of natural light entering the building. Light receives in mainly scattered light because it has passed through the roof layers. So light intensity and radiation are significantly reduced, especially in a country with a significant amount of sunshine like Vietnam. Besides, in order to keep the quality of work on display, I have considered the light element created in my work. The free time is here. I'm sorry. I could change the interior roof fin to mirror, and we would have a mirror house. Then the roof of the building seemed disappear and leave the work and the space SFD reflection. We can completely experiment and change the material depending on the idea and content of the work on display, so that the work can be included in the work itself, not just at the background. Now we get to a B1 floor plan. The folded roof become a background for sculpture. The walls will be immersed in the undulating waves of the roof, sometimes hidden and present, changing continuously in the footsteps of the observer. So this is the entrance. This is a reception hall, the entrance to the building. The cafe serves people who want to enjoy art, and it also displays place where young artists exchange ideas with each other. Display is for visual art, like sculpture exhibition. In some pictures, space itself is a work of art.
I am sorry, Long Chen. Your
Yes.
5 minutes are up. You can still finish all your slides, but you're not able to
Yes.
tell the judges about your presentation. You can finish your slides, yes,
Thank you.
and your video,
I will
yes.
flip to end of my slides. This is my 30 seconds videos. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Now, I would like to invite the judges panel to maybe give a brief comment or some questions. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Long term.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask question for your own question, because you have a question. Is it possible for the old and new to coexist in the same era, right? So
Yes.
does your project answer that question?
Yes.
Can you explain how? Because the form that I see, it's more like a very modern one and very contemporary. And
Yes.
can you explain how the old and the new coexist in your or through your design?
Okay. Thank you for your questions. You give me some minutes. Okay. So this is Saigon history. When they bring the current, the boat of Chinese people, they come this land and they develop it. And nowadays, you can see on the scenes we see from Saigon now, we see lots of picture of the current and the forms of my building, of my work. They make me it makes me feel like I'm walking on the alleys. And I look up in the roof and I see that's across each other.
So you apply this the picture in the center, right?
Yes.
For your for your idea.
So
It's a metaphor in your
yes,
idea. Okay.
and you have more question for me?
Yeah.
That the old values and the new values and how I resolution that. I resolve that. Okay. And my work in on the size of the museum. So it's like a flow underground and on the size of the museum. So it can
so
it's
it is
attractive people more to concern trace about the old values like museum. They can focus more about that old values when they come here.
okay. So you made an infill design in the site of the museum.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a kind of urban in, injection. It's like a landscape injection in front of the museum. So
Yes.
that okay, so your design is the catalysator of the mix of the old and new. Is that what you mean?
Yes. And most that floor I make it underground to respect the museum.
Okay. So the coexistence is between design and the museum.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Could you please send you have two, I think you have some more floor plans. We only saw like the pencil drawing, but I think I have seen somewhere your presentation is a little difficult to follow because we see always fragments. I never see the full picture.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Maybe that reflects a little you.
Yeah.
Very interesting, very beautiful, but it's, you know, like I always want to capture it and then it's gone and then it moves.
Yeah.
But show me the floor plan. The floor plan you have somewhere. I saw it. The black drawn floor plans, 2D. The 2D plans. 2D. Round
plan.
No 3D, no sketch,
No.
nothing. Just
2D.
a real thing.
2-dimension long.
Yeah.
The 2D ground plan of you have different levels, I guess, but at least, or maybe just one.
Yeah, just the
ground plan, floor plan.
Floor plan.
Floor plan. Okay. That's B2 or B1. Wait me a minute.
Because it's important to see. I mean, your total shape is very consistent, and I think it's a nowadays already a traditional way to deal with the heritage building, that you contrast with a totally different approach. You go underground, you go free shape, you don't try to compete at all. So you're more like a piece of art sitting there in the park or even digging into the park. So I can all understand that, but and what I see here in this kind of pencil drawing, it looks interesting, but you have somewhere on your board, I saw it, a proper floor plan of your whole exhibition. Can you show this? So that where we see that all the rooms you have in one.
On the roof.
No roof.
No roof.
Floor plan.
Floor plan.
Can you counterpart the John Du from Vietnam, number 3, maybe translate what floor plan means?
Yes.
Can you help him with understanding what we are looking for? Maybe even a 2D section, but I think that we understand roughly. I'm not saying it's not good. I just think it's important for us to judge your project, to see that whole space with the different rooms you created, accesses.
Em có mặt bằng không?
Yes.
Mặt bằng.
My plan. I just have to plan B2 floor and B1.
Can you move it into the screen so we see the full floor plan? I see here only a little part of it.
Floor plan I have is my sketch, but not clear, not clearly.
I mean, this is the master plan, the top view that is good.
Top view.
But you have a floor plan on the ground from the whole exhibition. I saw it for a moment somewhere, but it comes in, it goes, and never seen the full picture. But if you don't have it, that's then that's it. But
I think I can use my model to make you understand.
No, not model, just a floor plan.
As we see, nice. Again, your design is very consistent. You know what you want, and it flows through. But a floor
Yes,
would be important.
that is floor plan. That is floor plan. It cut through the roof, so you can see something in there.
This one. Is this one?
Yes.
I see only part of it.
Sorry.
The left part is cut off.
I think there's a problem with your Zoom view because I believe the committee can see the whole floor plan clearly.
Oh, okay.
I think that seems to be the issue, yes.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting you once again.
No, thank you for helping.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a basic question.
Yes.
I didn't understand how did you decide the volume and their form. So imagine in my way, maybe you adopt a form from the liver shape. Yeah.
That's not just the river.
Okay, show me the slide of the Saigon River.
So my work can make by the flow, the traffic.
Yeah. Okay. Show me the slide of Saigon River.
Slide River.
Yeah, Saigon River.
Okay, just 1 minute. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So the river is a flow like this, yeah. And so
yes.
you adopted the form from the Saigon River.
Maybe.
I don't understand how do you decide the form, the roof form or the something, yeah. The flow plan also is like a dragon, as your name.
I make the form by on the picture I see in Saigon in the future and the past. So it make me feel a shape of form, my form.
So
it's not just the rivers.
Analyzing your work, I imagine in my way, when you decide the volume and the form, you imagine the two types of photo, two types of image. The one is from the shape of liver, and the other is the Vietnamese alley, is a hand. So you mix alley and the liver shape. Is it right?
Yes, but I can explain that it's not the forms and it's the part on the activity inside building like that. It's not just the form.
But we can understand what happening inside. What kind of activities?
All our activities is contemporary art, performing, and the other activities. I get in the last slide, but it's in enough time. Didn't enough time for me for presentation. So you can see a lot of activities.
Don't say excuse. It's your responsibility.
But you can change. And connect some space. It's not it's flexible.
But I think it's your the creative the sense of space. It is so nice. But presentation is not good. You know why? We didn't understand the perfectly.
It kind of hard to follow my presentation. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Any more question for me?
It's always hard to follow the dragon, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe that is all for this Q&A session because the time is up already. So now I would like to go on to the next presenter, which is Yang Si from China.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, your screen is clear here.
Okay.
Professor Martin, is there any difficulties on your Zoom screen?
Should be now all fine, thanks.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear.
Hello, judges and teachers. I'm Yang Si from China. The name of my work is Open and Close, Design of Residential Function Improvement, based on the dual goals of community opening and closure. I will tell you my plan in 5 parts. First of all, my design focuses on the design of urban living space in the post-epidemic era. Starting from social purpose, I think about the relationship between cities, buildings, and people. Therefore, I take the existing urban settlements as the representative of urban living space. Under the background of urban renewal, starting from the universal social purpose, I explore the development direction of the renewal of existing urban settlements. At present, China is in a new stage of urban renewal and development. In order to promote urban renewal, we need to promote the open block system for communities. On the other hand, due to the outbreak of the epidemic in 2020, communities often use blue corrugated boards to achieve the purpose of closure and isolation. It has become an effective means to deal with local epidemics, but it's not beautiful enough, and the space utilization and efficiency is also low. Therefore, there is a contradiction between open community to activate the city and closed community to isolate prevention and control. The site is located in Dinzigu Street, Hongqiao District, Tianjin, China. To its north is an urban trunk road and a university, and the other 3 sides face the adjacent communities. It can be seen that although there are many people and vehicles around the communities, the interior is still old and a lack of vitality. Through the investigation, I found several major problems. Question 1, how to change the simple board isolation into a warmer material space with humanistic care? Question 2, how should we update and enhance the old community to stimulate its vitality? Question 3, in the post-epidemic era, how should community public space adjust the opening and closing transformation so that the contradiction between community opening to activate the city and closing to isolate prevention can coexist harmoniously? Based on the above 3 questions, I propose 3 strategies to make a appropriate community opening and closing system. First, I replace the blue corrugated boards with the node and the trial space. Then I transform the internal vegetable market and other spaces, implant new functional buildings, and activate and improve each node. Finally, I use Chinese traditional garden techniques to improve the spiritual and the functional attributes of the nodes and the trials. Under the guidance of 3 strategies, the block is generated. And through the investigation, the community is divided into 3 types of interfaces. That is internal community interface, and surrounding community interface, and urban interface. Facing different interfaces, the architectural form transitions from piece to twist and turns, and the architectural function changes from quiet to dynamic is excitement, so as to realize the response measures for different scheme, forms, and functions at different interfaces. And then I realize humanistic care for the living space of community residents and inherit people's familiar lifestyle and behavior. During the epidemic period, the nodes will be divided into 3 categories: traffic, prevention, and management. And the mode transformation of community opening, semi-opening, and closing will be achieved through the adjustment of the opening and closing number of the 4 main entrance nodes. The last part is a display of the scheme. First, we can see that the red part is the new addition and reconstruction part. The new scheme finally forms the overall scheme by combining the traffic system and the designing and transforming the node and the trial. The second part is a display of explosion diagram and the local scheme. I echo the turtle's path of Chinese traditional gardens, promote people to perceive nature and feel the open environmental atmosphere of the unity of heaven and man in a relatively closed space. The third is the plan and the analysis of the scheme. I emphasized its relaxed spatial rhythm in the overall perspective and completed the high integration of man-made and nature, so that residents can feel the open and nature space atmosphere like Chinese gardens in the community. The fourth is the conversion comparison of important node space between old and ceiling. Compared with the previous works, the entries improves its functional diversity and the space utilization, and it realizes the adjustment of community opening and closing degree by closing different numbers of entrances. Transform the vegetable market into a community control center and a supply materials. The interaction center in the park has become an isolation point so that residents can quickly seek medical treatment in a familiar, green, and healthy environment. The last is the model display and the video display.
All right, are you done, Yang Suli, with the presentation? Okay, what does it do?
That's my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. Now move on to the Q&A session.
Okay, Yang, right? Yang, see.
Yes.
Okay, I can see you've done a good job here, and your presentation is very clear. And you use the traditional garden techniques to improve the functional attributes of nodes and trials. But when you are trying to implement nodes and trial series, I think not only should consider vehicles or pedestrian streamlines, and you should also think about bicycle streamline as well. I think that's something that's a very important condition in the neighborhood, right? And also moreover, don't forget what you want to connect. What are the real user in this community, and the store owners, the residents, or the visitors, and there should have a timeline involved, right? Yes. For example, the conditions of your open and closed community proposal will be different in days times and night times for sure. Also, I think during the holiday seasons or weekdays and weekends, the opening and closing of the communities not only adjust according to what you said about epidemic degrees, I think it could also be adjusted according to the different times of the years and all what I just mentioned. So because of the crowd conditions and the users will be different, right? So I think maybe you can share a little bit more about this. Like, have you ever considered what would happen? Like maybe during the weekend, the user might change to like maybe the parents or maybe like lovers or different kind of peoples come into your community and they are more like a tourist. And what are you going to react to it? And this closing and opening community system, what is this going to react? So please share your idea.
Actually, its circulation is flexible, and people rely on the twist and flexible architecture form space and path. Their circulation is also variable, and like you just mentioned, the different situation, like day and night, people, I think they will.
You want to show me the plan or the like the slides, like when you are talking about this part?
The slide?
If you have a slide, you can go with.
Sorry, I can hear you just.
Oh, sorry, I just muted. Yeah, I mean, like, do you have you just mentioned you have a trail or you have a path you are talking about day and night. So do you have the slides you can show us so I can read through your drawings? It's easier to understand about this part.
Do you mean the activities at different times?
Yes, that would be working too.
And the difference between the activities I made is mainly about the open and close is the most important part I made in the scheme.
Yeah, and, but is this response to different timelines, for example, daytimes or night times, or for Chinese New Year's, the lunar years is like the I think the users and the cloud condition would be definitely a big difference. And I would like to know more about this part, like what are you going to do to respond?
The people within the community, they can use this community space freely, and the people outside this community, such as the students, like the site, because the site is near a university, so there will be many college students will come to this space, and I wish I make some excite space in this site, such as communicate center and some restaurant in this part. And I wish this can let these students have their to go to the space, the entries, the community entries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think maybe you can explain a little bit more about this flexibility of the space, open or close, or during the different time. I think you have such kind of drawing.
That's my question.
Show your slides. 你的幻灯片。
What's the flexibility? What's the flexibility of your?
I think you have you actually you have done a lot. You've done a lot of work on that. When I see your panel, your boards, there are really quite a lot drawings on that. Maybe you can explain not only this site plan, this master plan, also some scenarios, also some perspective, some isometric. I think you have explained. 还有其他的幻灯片吗？
您是说
就是这种不同的变化的时候，比如说这种，你可以稍微说一下。
好。In a normal period, the open and close degree is mainly depend on the numbers of the entries nodes. Entries nodes and in normal period, all 4 entries will open and the community is open. And during the initial or recovery period of the epidemic, only the north and the south entries will be open and the community enter the semi-opening mode. When the epidemic is broke out, all entries will be closed and the community entered the closed ceiling mode, and the community reached an independent operation system internally. And the activities on about people is from free and semi-free or just in this community is the
maybe good if you could now show evidence of the concept, your principles, going from the diagrams now to the design. and looking at the design itself as the evidence of your concept. And maybe in that final design, you can still explain how everything comes to play. But I feel like I still have not really seen the design as such. I understand a lot of intentions, but what is now the final result in reality? How will it look?
I'm sorry, I'm not very understand your questions.
I would like to see what is your design proposal?
Oh.
How does it look either in 2D or 3D? And then that we can verify all those intentions within the design, not as diagrams, but now the real design.
It's about the block, the architectural form.
Yes.
I
see that.
The architectural form is first located. I located the.
Show it. Don't talk about it, because when we talk about flexible or in and out, and then we want to see what is it, and then we need to be convinced that it is flexible or that it's necessary to be flexible. Not everything needs to be, but right now we are talking about a lot of concepts, but I still need to see the evidence of the final, basically the reality of when things are implemented according to your design.
And the flexible is first in its form. It twists and turns like this, and this twist and turns is dependent on the restriction of the original greening and the delighting of the community. And I wish when facing different interfaces, the architectural form and the function will be changed, such as when within this community interface, the architectural function will be commercial and its form will be peace. And when facing the adjacent communities, its function will be like T library and some other place we can make activities. And facing the urban interface, the architectural form will be have more turns and twists and have some dynamic excitement spacement. And I think it's the place that the architecture flexible and can changeable point.
It's still rather abstract to me. If you go to the end of your slides, you probably have how it will really look if done according to your ideas. The design of your intervention, not explaining the concept, but now how will your design of your intervention here looks. I'm not saying it must be just a building, it can be a mix of how you treat an outdoor space or regulate access or change surfaces or restrict or whatever, but I still have not seen a design.
I think what she has done is basically control the movements during the epidemic and non-epidemic periods, trying to control the movement, creating all these control nodes and all. And in the slide number 24, she talks about library and tea room implant, but there is no design of that. That is, I think, what Martin sir is suggesting, that show us the design. At the moment, this becomes only a two-dimensional plan of controlling the movements for epidemic or non-epidemic periods. I think that was the main concern, and this is a kind of a response to this COVID situation, how existing situations can be turned into a controlled situation.
there are yeah.
Sorry.
There are different ways how to regulate those those issues. So some is by law, some is by a barrier. And now, as an architect, I believe we can regulate things or enhance or support certain behaviors that are important by this, in a sense, yeah, by the elements that is hand to an architect, whether this is landscape, whether this is elements that we move and put in place when needed, whether it's a building, whether it's the way an entrance is formulated. But I think that's important.
See, don't you have the physical design for your plan? I think you have it in the model. Are you? Do you?
The plan.
No, the physical design of the. We already see the plan, but the question is, do you have the 3D model or the physical model of your plan?
The solid model or
so
I think her interest is more like a sequential corridors, huh? Not the building.
No,
so
no.
yeah.
I think she make a new corridor. Are you?
Kind of, yes.
Kind of.
There's a corridor and also the building, I think.
Yeah.
All these solid things
But
are the building.
her interest is more sequential kind of experience.
The system. Yeah, maybe the system is quite important for her. Yes, more important than the single building. So
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I thought
is the white thing your design, see? The white
yes, the white part is my design.
All the white in the model, and the 31 to 33 shows the schematics, not schematic, the ground plan of all the path. I thought this was a rather fantastic strategic design, you know.
Yep.
And I think so appropriate for our time when we are thinking about how, in sense, to future-proof the kind of environment that we have. And I think for me, I mean, I'm personally very taken by this scheme, because I think there's a lot of thoughtfulness in the design. And even if you look at the corridors or pathways along the edges, I think she has really given considerations to how to make those into a landscape urban elements. Yeah. And those white stuff that you see in this particular model, they are the infills, you know.
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to know was, what was the red? Was that is the red just basically a coding, or is that really the color of the building? Because I think I'll be so anxious, to stay in this place when everything is painted red. Is red the color of the buildings, or is just a
no? I think it's not red, just the abstract. I think if on these slides, if you have 4 photographs of your in eye level of your model, in place of this isometric one, as this bird's eye view will be much better to show the real space you created. It's not only a layout, it's not only a overall systematic work. If you have some small space, I think you have already designed all these buildings, the bigger one or corridor, the smaller ones. But what you have shown us are always on this this overall level. Yeah.
Okay, I want to summarize my question. It's the last one. It takes a long time, yeah, for her. So I think this is a very interesting assignment. I think this is a theme that we should consider in architecture and urban design after the pandemic, in the current corona disaster. So next year, I'd like to have 11 AFRA on such a topic related to the pandemic. And also, my question is, the answer briefly, yeah. Do you expect the population in this area for your project?
What? Can you repeat?
Long call. One,
yeah. One core?
One core. Population in this area, yeah.
多少人口 population.
For this community.
So how many people do you expect in this area?
The community is about 200 people live in here.
200, okay.
Yeah, it's an old community.
Okay, and the next question is, can this opening and closing system be spread over a wide area? Show me the slide of the site plan.
Actually, at
first, show us the slide, the site plan. Site plan.
I think it can widely used.
No, I want to hear another slide.
换一个。
On this or
no, yeah. No, more. No, side plan.
What pages?
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe
plan.
Reward. Up. Yeah. This one.
This one. The problems.
Go.
总平面。
总平面。
一下子。
不是平面。Okay. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So, how's it?
And did you ask me how to do this?
Did it spread over the wide area?
你点开一页28还是24？28还是29？我不知道他要的哪一个。
Now you said the 200 people are living there, and then the opening and the closing system is for 200 people. Okay?
啊，才200人啊，不止吧？
因为这是is an old community and just some old people live here.
Yeah, if so, can you spread it?
Why I choose here?
Wider.
And the reason I chose this site.
Yes or no?
Do you ask me the reason I chose this site?
Now listen. Can you your opening and the closing system spread over the wider? For example, for 2,000, 2,000 人.
This is just a system for one community. If other place wish to have this space like this, I think it can each community and have each one system. And also this system I just mentioned it is function and its form is changeable when facing different interfaces. So I think when put it into any other communities, it can change its form and the functions and widely used in other places.
Okay, if so, it's my last question. If so, why you limited the 200 people?
First is old community and is equipment and measures for prevention in epidemic is short supply and backward like the blue garbage boards. So compared with the newly built community and some other modern communities, I think is have its urgent need for some changes, and so I choose this old community. And this old community also has its history for it has been built for several decades and is residential architects has some technical style and the roofs is cresty, has its own crastics, and so it has its typical and also common.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Yang Sui, for the wonderful presentation, and thank you to Chip. Next, we have Manapun Intason from Laos. You may start sharing your screen.
Yes. You see my screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Available area and to be an area for a local environment, and how to use this space created, and I tried to, and the question is, what is the special point in Laos? Laos is that the agricultural country, most country in Laos involved in the farming, member of the household in the land together, and they have to live like the simple life of Lao lifestyle. They live like together and live with the nature. And this is a location. This map is showing the legends of the area. I put it here because this area is very interesting about like they have like the local landscape with like the large of the light field, and the site is attached to like the cultivation area with the community in that area, and consists with the marsh in there. So this project is inspired by the way we're living. We go out of food, we try to like live as a self-sufficient and independent as somehow possible. This design concept try to realize the value of the local community, society of the farmer, and the element of the legends. And then I try, this project is like people live like a self-sufficient life, and I try to also put this into my project and try to transfer that back to the new generation. And so this project introduced now is like combined with the cultivation with agriculture and the local environment, and this project is named the Visiting Learning Library. So about the purpose of this project, that I have to, this project decided, project consists of the three part about the project and the activity area, combined with like the borderland, and this area is like living in harmony with the contact where water and land and the earth land, and it's like the symbol local in that page. And in this area to they have